All right, let's give it up for Chip. Some good songs there, I like that. Wait. All right, now we got a special treat. We have a poet tonight, David Forget, is coming up to recite some poetry.
You can take the mic. Is that good?
Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to MJ Dowling. My name is David Fredette, and I live in Stamford, Connecticut, but I grew up on Long Island, grew up in Bayport, spent a lot of time in these riches, and I wrote 5 books, 3 books of poetry, 2 books of stories, and all the royalties for the poetry books are going to go to the homeless. And you can go to davidfred@books.com. That's davidfred@books.com. Okay, tonight I'm going to recite 15 poems. And the first poem is called Winter. And it goes, cold is the absence of heat. Winter blasts of blizzard warnings and long dark mornings cast the spell of dry wit and empty fists as they drown the horrors my future presents. Cast in faith, gray between night and day, I fix another love with my hard-earned pay. Gather up twigs of my discontent, strike up some new ideas with the last match spent on time I borrowed from New Year's. Now I'm out. While sources attracted to sink, I still need a blanket. Poem number 2.
Let it roll!
Is Shipwreck. And it goes, the crew awoke on a massive slab of driftwood. It began to pour. We failed to see dawn. Yet there are no gray moments to reflect on. The flash of favorable past persists when we buy stock in character at every unfortunate miss. Brighter days may prevail again, and frequent praise for the individuals, those strong beings who got us there, should be paramount to oneself.
Yeah.
Poem number 3 is He walked a mile and swam back. He walked a mile and swam back. What began as nonchalant resulted in a rigorous act. For he was 80. I walked with him, not ruling out the notion that he may be fading. When we reached the beach's end, we turned around and walked into the ocean. It was at this point he said with his backstroke, catch me if you can. So I used the backstroke, the side stroke, and freestyle. I made it all 200 feet, but that of the greatest generation swam the full mile. Poem number 4. I didn't write this poem. This is a poem that, or a saying that is paramount to the maritime industry. All the cadets and the midshipmen had to learn it. And it's called, how long have you been a sailor? So ask me, how long have I been a sailor?
How long have you been a sailor?
Sir, all my blooming life, sir. Me father was King Neptune. My mother was a mermaid. I was born on the crest of the wave and rocked in the cradle of the deep. My eyes are stars, my teeth are spars, my hair is hempen seaweed, and when I spit, I spit star, I tough I is, I am my arse, sir.
God damn it! Privateer!
Poem number 5 is a shorter poem. It's A Year's Up. It goes, a week after week, writers block up the writer's block. The reservoir thought can now collect in the coffers my cranium as I rest with contentment.
Hoorah!
Poem number 6. Poem number 6 is Are Americans Racist? And it goes, peel the onion further, and we have a universal bias as I struggle with bona fide mania and dim melancholy. I still have inalienable rights like low-income housing and disability bennies. But yours truly can be committed at the toss of a lighter. $1,200 later, eggshells support my tiptoe around constant scrutiny and a table book of jobs. So bias doesn't stop at race. It's in gender, health, sexual preference, as well as creed. We all have our mountains to scale. Ignorance gravitates some masses back to race camp, while others overcome with the oxygen of our Creator. Just breathe. Poem number 7 is Girlfriend. And it goes, your smile sends this once imprisoned soul chartering through uncharted territory. Your kindness keeps my once throbbing lonely heart up the rocks of complete destitution. Your love fills my once skeletal life with some meat to chew on. Your ass cures this once seaman's curiosity with a great bucking.
Hoorah!
Poem number 8 is called NYC, New York City. And it goes, slow activity as my mind grinds to a halt. I can't jump the turnstile to her heart. She requires a day's wages for access to her garden. A show of hands for those who'd rather see her mass appeal with distinction from the rest as she turns tricks for global markets. Nature hates a void, hence the big Granny Smith is a whore, but I love her.
Hoorah!
Poem number 9 is Reconnect. And it goes, if I had the time to bring it all together, if I had the chance to make it all better, I put my tools away, find a nice place to stay, carry on with unfettered glory like an old salt with a bottomless collection of sea stories. Not once upon a time fairy tales, but you're not going to believe this crazy shit account as to when order began to fail. Poem number 10 is Antithesis. And it goes, my heart is torn between the left and the right. We want gun control, but there are no life-saving rights for the fetus. Meanwhile, the fascists took from Medicare for wealthy tax breaks. Love heals the heart. Poem number 10. No, poem number 11. Poem number 11. This poem is not titled. It's in my storybook called Walk in Faith and Eat When You're Hungry. It's Jesuit on steroids. And it goes, take some seeds. There may be a breeze. But sure, a few take root. The bloom is the truth. Believe now, it's worth the plow. Poem number 12 is Immigration. And it goes, tell me, why are we so concerned? There are over 1.3 billion Chinese thriving in a country smaller than the United States of America, which feeds about 300 million Yanks. Need some room? Annex every country north of Colombia and south of the U.S.-Mexican border. Then enforce our American law. Poem number 13 is called Cruise. Cruise is another word for a summer sea term at SUNY Maritime College. And it goes, the rapid percussion of needle guns, shrieks of scraping rolled steel, chipping hammers pecking an impatient rhythm as the bulkhead loses its appeal. Mugs, are you thirsty? He hollers. Yes, Chief, they scream. Then swallow your spit, and 10 laps around the Azores they had to steam. No Portuguese beauties for the night. Land will only be on the starboard line of sight, much further than they can reach. Their steel toes fastened to the likes of Steel Beach. Time will give a night to carouse. It will be 15 days later in Palma de Mallorca, a sailor's gift from our Creator. Plenty of sunshine and Mediterranean style. The Spanish can party for a long while.
Sorry, I didn't see you.
But until then, the underclass will learn techniques like how to stand while you sleep. Comment on the midnight watch as they're perched on a metal plate, eyeing the furnace fires, waiting for that of the 4 to 8. By the time it is all over, 2 months have passed. The cadets will have been to 3 countries, and for a lifetime, the knowledge and experience will last.
My eyes are sparse, my teeth is hard.
Two more, I promise. Okay, the next poem was called Hart's Cove. Hart's Cove is in the Merchants Bay, and real muddy. So it goes, oh body with your surface so calm, I float motionless as the tide of thoughts leave my haven of fond and distant memories. Your depth all 5 feet, that ooze through the toes, encouraging positive buoyancy during the swim to your mouth's island. Cancel that for now, I prefer to lie still and defer such a pulsating thrill, only to remain dormant with the help of my corpulence. Let the current run its course, for if I routinely engage in a rigorous swim, I will fail to float as fat is burned and I become slim. So let the tide ebb and flow.
Poem 15.
Last poem.
Poems, everybody.
Last
The
poem.
lad has me a poem.
Silence. It's called Silence. Tyler Poe. It goes, a final tune of FM. Time to think. Yet another siren blares. Ah, as it fades. Eyes closed, but still drawing a blank. Thank God for the break. As opportunity warrants new sounds, the voice of a colleague, internal combustion, the stamp of a time card, they all have relevance. Nevertheless, nothing makes a statement like silence. Woo!
All right, let's give it up for Dave Fredette. First poet that I've had here. Let's see. We got Nicholas coming up, and we got more after that.